NFL, baby. We're here. I might be dressed as Snorlax, but you might not want to sleep on this week of the NFL with all the rumors, the injuries, the trades. Speaking of trades, man, what is going on with the Baltimore trying to acquire everyone this season?
They sure are, man. They creating a powerhouse on offense. First, they got Derrick Henry as the running back, which honestly, the Dallas Cowboys probably should have got him first, but that's another discussion. And then they go out and get another receiver after already having Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman in the crew. And I think, honestly, that's not exactly what they needed. I feel like going back to what you said, man, about them like having a tough time closing out games in the end, particularly their defense, is what they struggled with. I do feel like personally they could have used an additional piece on defense rather than additional piece on offense.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, this seemed a little too familiar, if you ask me, right? This kind of seems like the 49ers acquiring all these pieces of talent. You got Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers,
Yeah.
Derek Carey, Lamar Jackson, and now this, bro. The only thing I'm gonna say is, with all this talent, if the Baltimore Ravens go to the Super Bowl and they lose, they're gonna be another laughing stock, just like the San Francisco 49ers. Because how? How is you acquiring all this talent? You can't close games. How?
Yeah, that's a good point. They can't afford to if they get that far, and then it's like another. It'd be different if it's a AFC Championship game. They get there, and it's like a really close game, back and forth, and maybe like let's say they play like the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes scores like a game-winning drive, but it was like a close. It wasn't like a collapse that the Baltimore Ravens had, or like they couldn't really get anything going offensively or defensively. I think that's like a better case scenario. But I feel like if it's a case to where it's a shootout situation against like whether it's Josh Allen in the AFC Championship, Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship, even CJ Stroud if he even get there, then I just feel like that's a little bit better. But still, with the fact that you have all those weapons on offense, people are going to point to you like, okay, eventually you have to get it done. Like, come on now.
Yeah, and like I said, man, you made the great point. They did not need more weapons on offense. They really need to improve that defense a lot. When they're averaging the most
Yeah.
dropped interceptions than any team in the NFL, literally,
Had about
literally,
five of them against the
man.
Browns. Five.
Hey, I'm not sure if they say, all right, Bateman, you dropped the ball because the sun in your eyes, huh? We got somebody that's gonna catch the ball now. We got somebody for you. You want to drop balls, talk about the sun was in your eyes? Oh, we bought somebody that's gonna catch the ball. You not about to be our wide receiver one. We bring in the talent. And bringing in the talent, I think that's exactly what Kansas City Chiefs did. I think they got a talent for finding wash up wide receivers, making sure we're gonna give you the nice target. Make sure, look, we're gonna guarantee we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. And when you go to the Super Bowl, look, we're gonna make sure you get a touchdown or something. Come right over here. We know you're not washed up. Come get your ring before you head on out in the NFL. Man, the Chiefs requiring
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins from the Tennessee Titans. And I'm just like, what it is, what's going on here?
Exactly, man. I just feel like the Kansas City Chiefs aggressive all around, not even on the field, but when it comes to making offense decision moves, they're already what 7-0, 8-0 team. I believe 8-0 since we're in week 9 and they had a bye week already. But the fact that they 8-0 and they still trying to acquire talent, that just says something that they aggressive. They're aggressively trying to three-peat and give Patrick Mahomes what he need to win. I don't know. I would say I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is necessarily the answer. Yes, it may help to get like an extra receiver who has great hands because that's something DeAndre Hopkins has always had is great hands, but he is older. He isn't in his prime anymore. So that's my only question mark. Will he actually make an impact? But you're playing with Patrick Mahomes, so I do believe he can contribute in some way, but I don't think it's definitely a game changer.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that like everyone know the Kansas City Chiefs needed a new wide receiver, but yet they were still winning games. They're still 8-0 with no
Hmm.
wide receivers. Travis Kelce has not been stepping up to the bench, playing with third and fourth string running backs. How?
Hmm.
How they're 8-0. So I think this might
Yeah.
be exactly what they needed to go back to the Super Bowl for the third straight time. And if they match up with the Baltimore, I mean, I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a talk.
Yeah, that would be the perfect defensive matchup. for Baltimore to make it a really interesting AFC potential AFC championship game is Kansas City's defense, which is the best in the league. I don't even think anybody really going to argue that. Versus the Baltimore Ravens offense, which to me they have a top 2 to 3 offense alongside Detroit,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
maybe I don't know. It could be the Vikings, could be the Bills, but they're up there.
I mean, honestly, with the trade line approaching, I mean, with the trade deadline approaching, who you think is going to be the next shocking pick that's going to happen? Like, who you think
Ooh.
is going to hop ship and go to a winning team this year?
Oh man, that's a good point. Man, honestly, I heard trade rumors with Pacheco coming back, which that's kind of a little bit because he's just coming off an injury, and I can't really see that happening. But uh, man, I don't even know who's on a bad team that would like to get on a good team. Maybe I'm trying to think who's been on a bad team for like a while now.
That's a good question. I know they had good questions about Cooper Cup potential leaving, but could
Oh
that
yeah, I did
potentially
see
go
that
to the
too.
Kansas City Chiefs? But I don't know. I could see this is just my rumor. If they're truly going to let Cooper Cup go, who would get a Cooper Cup? Who would Cooper Cup want to go to? Who would Cooper Cup want to win a ring with? And my answer is Cooper Cup will want to go to the Detroit Lions. And I think
Detroit Lions,
hey,
bro. That is no. Oh my goodness, that is a
hey,
juggernaut. If he
hey, the
went
only
there,
thing I'm gonna say is that happened, bro. Look out, Detroit Lions has rise from the breaking grounds of hell and gonna be the best team in the division for years to come. If that happened, I mean they're already looking good,
yeah, they already
but
look
they would
good.
look
They are.
amazing for years to come if that happened.
No, that is crazy, bro. Because literally, no defense will predict what they're gonna do. Got to throw the ball to Cooper Cup on the left. You got Amon St. Brown on the right. You got Laporta down the middle. You got the
Boy,
two
Devontae,
amazing running backs in the backfield.
yeah,
Like,
his golf look amazing.
good
Sheesh.
lord, yeah, Jared Goff. Everybody's been it's been up in the air between him and Lamar Jackson. People have even been saying, Jared Goff should be MVP over Lamar Jackson. I don't think that,
Nah, not
but
at all. Not at
but
all.
nah, but nah, they've been putting him up there. Like they've been praising him high as they should because he's been really accurate with his throws this year. He's been smart. He hasn't needed to be put in difficult situations. Shout out to his coach because of the talent around him and the identity that they built around that team.
Speaking of things being up in the air, you know what's also up in the air a lot? You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Injuries.
Yeah.
All these injuries around the league, man. Some people slowly making it back, but I think this is probably the most injuries I ever seen in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
By
And
far, yeah.
and I think it kind of got something to do with that. You seen everyone seen that study on the amount of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches being consumed in the locker room. I think a lot of these
Yeah.
players eat too many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and get injured, man. Doesn't make sense. Like at all. You got the 49ers all banged up. You got the Saints all banged up. You got the Buccaneers all banged up. If you count the amount of injuries in the league right now, you'll be like, what the hell is going on? You think somebody put something in the water, but it's not the water, it's in the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, one key injury that I noticed that was really crazy was Stephon Diggs' ACL injury. I know he came out the game with the busted knee. That's what I thought it was. It didn't look like it with that. And then they came out with the breaking news report. He had an ACL injury, which I think significantly impacts the Texans offense, especially without uh Nico Collins as well. So it'll be definitely difficult for the Texans to try to recuperate because they have been used to the talent around them. And CJ Stroud's going to have to definitely find a way, which I do believe he can.
It's all gonna come down to Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, and CJ Stroud. Is CJ Stroud gonna turn into a runner or what, man?
Yeah, he gonna use them legs, man. I mean, yeah, him, Joe Mixon, they gotta really focus on the run because they're not gonna have the receivers that they're used to surrounding them, and then they definitely gotta get help from the defense as well. Similar to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes doesn't necessarily need the offense to perform great to win games. As you can see, he doesn't even need to be great
He
to
only
win
need a little
games.
bit of time on the clock. That's all he needs.
Exactly,
He don't
13
even need a
seconds.
full minute. He don't even need a full
Hey,
minute.
give me 13 seconds all day, baby. But yeah,
Hey.
he just need that defense or Andy Reid. He doesn't need to be great. He hasn't even been great this season, honestly. And that's kind of the similar situation the Texans need to kind of look at if you want to look up to a team like that, just should inspire them to wow. Like even when the quarterback isn't performing great, even when they're down a running back, even when they're down a star receiver. Their defense has carried them along the way, and they still been able to be undefeated throughout the season. We can do something similar to that and start winning games if we establish some sort of defensive identity and also run and pound the ball down people's throats.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So with the big injury that happened to the Texans, do you think they can reclaim the number one spot in the division, or you think the coach is gonna stick with that? You already know they just benched and Anthony Richardson looks like it's gonna be the starter. Like, how do you think that's like affecting? Like, do you think they can reclaim their division lead?
I honestly haven't seen enough for the Colts to say that. I want to say the Colts can do that, but I do believe in the Texans. I believe in C.J. Stroud more than I believe in Joe Flacco. To me, that's the difference between the two. Jonathan Taylor's great, but guess who else been great? Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon been lights out the last 3 games. 3 out of 4 games, he's had over 100 yards plus rushing. The Texans have been able to be a great defensive team, keeping teams out of the end zone. And I'm not saying they're the best team or a top 3 team even in the AFC. I could put them behind the Chiefs. I can put them behind the Steelers even, in my opinion. I could put them behind the Ravens and maybe even the Bills. But as far as their own division, I think they can get that and at least get into the playoffs. What
So
about you?
I think it's kind of tricky because I feel like if they lose tonight on Halloween night, the horrors come out, and Aaron Rodgers and them Jets come out there and put their ass whooping on them. And you know the Texans has
Oh,
not been
man.
playing well on the road. And
They sure haven't.
they lose again, 2 games in a row. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to tell because, like I said, I think the Jets is going to win tonight. I don't think the Jets on paper should not lose 6 straight games. Everyone being healthy.
You think it'll be a close game?
I don't think the Jets should lose 6 straight games on how good they look on paper with no one being injured. In my part, so I do think I believe that the Jets will beat them tonight. America thinks so. When you look at the polls, the Jets are a favorite to win by 54% of people think so. So it's kind of hard to say, man.
Hey, man, what you think is going to be a close game?
I realistically speaking, knowing how Aaron Rodgers is gonna find a way to mess it up, some way, somehow, absolutely. I feel like the Jets is gonna come out there and I don't think it's gonna be like last week where look like a baseball game starting off 2-3, 3-6, kind of score. I think they're gonna come out there and they're gonna put points on the board early, but I feel like it's gonna slow down. I think final score is gonna be let's say 17 to 21, 21 to 24. I think he's gonna be within that 3 margin. I said it last week. That's exactly what happened. And I don't know, man. I think Aaron Rodgers has gotta find it. I know it's hard for Aaron Rodgers. Everyone talking about how bad Aaron Rodgers is, but it's not that easy for a 41-year-old man to come back from a torn Achilles injury, battle through it and play on a high caliber level. So I feel like if Aaron Rodgers don't recuperate this season and continue to lose, I think the next option is not firing the head coach, but I think it should be to bench Aaron Rodgers.
Man, it's so crazy, man, how people like you, even people like me, we both say now, like, man, Aaron Rodgers is going to find some type of way to mess it up. But we've been talking so high of him throughout the years, throughout the decades. Man, after Brett Favre, we praise him. Even we'd be like, dang, Jordan Love, the upcoming next Aaron Rodgers / Brett Favre. He looking like the 3rd great Green Bay quarterback. But now it's like, we all up on him, giving him shit as, he should be getting it because he just hasn't been great. And to me, it's crazy because I put him on that tier as like one of the greats of all time, alongside, Patrick Mahomes. I'm just thinking like, dang, I hope Patrick Mahomes don't have to deal with this playing at 40 years old and go through an injury. And then like people giving that. What do you think?
Mahomes gonna know when to hang up them damn cleats. I think
that's
the difference. I think that's the difference. He's ruining his legacy by not hanging up them cleats. That's what it is. That's the problem.
He is ruining the legacy. Yeah, it's been downhill, bro. And it's like, do you care, man? Like even before the whole Jets thing happened, I mean, with Green Bay, it just wasn't looking good. Like he just could not get it done against particularly the 49ers, who kept beating him down in those big NFC championship games.
Yeah, speaking of do you care, do you think the Bills care about Tua when they put that ass whooping on them this weekend? Bills
Man,
versus Dolphins, man. Who you got?
man, that's a tough one, man. Ah, ah, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with the Bills again. Cause
Hey,
just
here
I'm
we go. Here
gonna
we
go
hey,
with the
I'm right
Bills.
there with you.
I can't. I just can't side with the Dolphins. Like I want to give them a chance, but it's like, bro, the Dolphins, bro, the Bills been the Dolphins' daddy. Let's just put it like that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the
They
last
know who their
5 years,
is.
it
They
seemed
know who
like,
that.
yeah, they know who they call daddy. Yeah, they know who they call daddy, man. But bro, they've been whooping ass. They've been whooping their ass so fiercely and just haven't gave a care. And answer your question, no, they ain't gonna care about Tua. They just gonna hit him as hard as they did the last game. You know, it's a game, physical football, and I know they're gonna be aggressive and they want to, keep their hot streak going and try to show everybody who else is on top of the AFC, man. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a blowout like last game. I feel like the Dolphins gonna put a little bit more fight, and I feel like everything in the beginning of the season, the Bills versus Dolphins matchup, everything that went wrong for the Dolphins completely went wrong. Like everything that could have went wrong just went wrong. So I don't think that'll happen again. I think it'll be a much closer game, but I'm definitely taking the Bills, man. What's making you choose the Bills as well?
I mean, like you said it. The Dolphins know who their dad is. I hate to say it. They just know 3 straight years. They know who their dad is. They knew who been putting that belt ass every season, year over year, game over game. They know who run that division. They know who the head honcho is. They know who the Bill Mafia is. It's the reason why they call it the Mafia, because they run the division. It's the reason. It's point blank. I mean, I did say Tua was gonna have a good game. Came back. He passed for over 246 yards, one passing
Mhm.
touchdown. Got in sync with his receiver, his favorite wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Water got in two pack. Handed off the Mostert for two touchdowns. Couldn't even close it. But I just don't think that it's gonna be enough. If you ask me, I just don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't think, I feel like, I hate to say it, Tua is just not warming up. And like you said, Josh Allen, the Bills are red hot. They red hot.
Yeah.
They might be blue, but they red hot today. But
Yeah, they are red hot, man. But steering into the next game, which I don't think this particular game it'll be a good game, but it ain't the game of the week. We're gonna talk about the Packers versus the Detroit Lions. What do
man,
you
the
think of that
only thing
NFC North divisional matchup?
I'm gonna say is, bro, hey, I've been saying it. I've been saying it. I thought Detroit all the way, baby. Detroit all the way. I hate to say it, Jordan Love ain't got enough. They got Jordan. I hate to say it, Jordan Love and them. They got a great team. They got a great dynamic. No, when you think about the Green Bay Packers, you don't really say, "Oh, this person stand out, that person stand out." They play
Yeah,
very cohesively as a team, and you even saw that when Jordan Love missed those 3 games, they still won because they played cohesively as a team. But I feel like as a team, you're not gonna have an answer for Sam
yeah,
Porter, David Montgomery, Jamar Gibbs, Amon St. Brown, Jared Goff. I just don't think they're gonna have an answer for them and Dan Campbell in that playbook. When he
yeah,
opened that playbook, everybody see that playbook is wide. Is wide. When you can do hooking laterals to linemen and all that stuff like that, that playbook is wide, and they're gonna open it wide open and put a belt ass on them Green Bay Packers. They're gonna milk that cheese, baby.
yeah. Melt that cheese, man.
I'm
But
telling you, they're
yeah,
gonna say the
the queso, some fresh queso, man. Some fresh
heat.
queso, bro.
Get your
Man.
nachos, get your nachos. That's what he's saying.
But yeah, bro. Hey, I 100% agree with that, bro. One thing I'll say about the Detroit Lions that they actually showed me last week is kind of a point you pointed out how a lot of teams, good teams even, tend to let their guard down whenever they play a bad team. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they don't perform the best because they just kind of let they just too much in their ego, or they just don't even try because they're like, oh, we got this, guys, and they're not playing 100% like they would play 100% versus like Kansas City Chiefs team or a Buffalo Bills team. But man, the way they handled the Tennessee Titans that last week's game just showed me that they are a physical team no matter what. They weren't just going to let their guard down just because they're one of the worst teams in the NFL with Will Mayo Mayonnaise Levis. They was actually going to do their thing regardless of what team they were playing against and show out. But yes, man, like I could just see as being I can see it being a close game in the beginning, and then I can see like the Lions maybe making a lead in the third quarter and maybe push it to like 10. Green Bay might score another touchdown. At the end of the day, I think the game will be relatively close, but it'll still be a awesome game of the week. With it being a big division game, I just don't think any team's gonna be like blown out because division games are usually rough, physical, and man, everybody knows what's on the line with divisional games.
I mean, absolutely. And honestly, I kind of want to renege this on a little bit, right?
Hmm.
I think the Packers might have a better chance. And I said this last week, and I was absolutely wrong. I was absolutely wrong.
Hmm.
I said the Detroit Lions came there and put that belt ass on them Cowboys, right? They
Yeah.
started calling Detroit the America's team at that. And I said, man, you know what? They probably a little bit too much on that high horse, right? They're a little bit too much on that high horse, and Tennessee might get them. Tennessee might get them. Absolutely wrong. Tennessee didn't stand a chance. Not at all. But do you think they still stuck with their high horse and they probably sleeping on them packs, or Detroit is just actually that good this year?
Hey man, I think Detroit that good this year, bro. I think if they were already sleeping on team and they would let the guard down, they would have did it against Tennessee. I really think they're gonna step up with it, particularly being a divisional game. I don't think they're just gonna like all of a sudden play a lot more soft. I think they're gonna still continue that pace, and it's just scary, bro. Because I mean, Amon Saint hasn't really had many big games this season.
Oh
Laporta
no.
hasn't really had any big games this season. Even Jared Goff hasn't had like huge games this season. He's been great, effective quarterback.
He needed to. He needed to. I mean,
Yeah,
we got look, Amon St. Brown could throw the ball. You doing hook and laterals to the lineman. You got Gibbs and Montgomery out there doing their thing. Jared Goff ain't got to play good. I hate to say it like that. He
I
ain't
mean,
got to play that good.
if you only throwing the ball 8 times in the game, you can put me at quarterback, hell, and we're gonna win the game. If I'm only throwing the ball 8 times, why not? Like, why not, man? I'll take that all day. You can give me the quarterback MVP at the end of the Super Bowl, but nah, yeah, they got weapons all over, man. It was crazy because last week they were saying Jared Goff had less. I believe there was more touchdowns than there were incompletions, which is just absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I could believe that because he sold my ticket. All I needed was Jared. I thought he got hurt or something. I thought he got hurt. Bro, I was hurt because I thought he got hurt. I'm like, man, now he was in there. Ain't bro, man,
Yeah,
no,
he was in there.
no answers. But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
With it's been week 9 in NFL, all the mayhem, all the madness. Who do you got as being a breakout player this week?
All right, I'm gonna go with Drake London, receiver. He only had about 36, I believe, receiving yards last week. I do feel like in order for it to be a great breakout player, you got to bounce back from bad performances. I think he can bounce back from that bad performance he had. And what else? Who else to go against than Dallas Cowboys to get you a good 100 yards receiving and a touchdown catch against? I do think Drake London has a chance to do that. Put him down for 100 receiving yards, a touchdown catch. I believe he's a really great route runner. He doesn't really have the best speed, but I feel like with the banged up Dallas defense, doesn't really matter. Even if they're healthy, they still haven't been the best defense. Give me Drake London. Who you got?
Man, I said it last week, and I once I was somebody right. Tua had a good game. If you ask me, week 1 bounced back. He looked like he got back in rhythm pretty quickly. But this week, I'm going with the cheetah, baby. He been too quiet.
You.
He been too quiet.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown in too long. It's been too long since he's seen the end zone. He ain't seen the end zone since the week he got arrested.
Yeah.
It's been too long. So I feel like Tyreek Hill is going to have a good game. I'm calling it right now. 100 plus yards and a TD. Right now, Tyreek
That's
Hill
fair.
over. I promise you, I promise you, they're going to need it if they want to beat the Bills. Tyreek Hill needs to have a good game. He needs to have it. So Tyreek Hill, big game, man, going over on the receptions, going over on the yards, and 1 touchdown. That's a player today, if you ask me.
I like that a lot, Chief, man. That's a good one right there. I do believe he'll have a better game because as well he played against played against Buffalo week 2. I don't even think that was a great game. Part of that being contributed to Tua being out. But even like before Tua was injured, he didn't really have an explosive first half.
Yeah.
So I do think he's not going to have 2 bad games in a row against another divisional game where he knows what's on the line, you know?
All right, yeah. Just before this go, I know this was in the script, but what upset game do you have this week? Do you have any team that you think is gonna upset a team?
Man, that's a tough call, man. Who do who do 49ers play? Do you know?
Um, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, my upset, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking to my gut. Give me Dallas again, man. Give me Dallas again. They should have had it last week. They should have had it last week. But against the 49ers, I thought he was going to do it. But I guess this is what it feels like to be a Dallas fan, even though I'm not a Dallas fan. Like, get your hopes up every single week when you think they could do something, and they don't do it. But, like I said, along with the Jets, I just kind of hard for me to believe that they're going to lose 6 straight games just like they did.
I
I mean,
got you.
5 straight games. Dallas is going to lose 5 straight games,
Yeah,
and this will be the Jets 6 straight game losing if they lose tonight, and it's kind of hard to believe. So, hey, just throwing a penny in the wishing well here.
you know what? I'm gonna throw a penny in there as well with you, man. Give me Seattle against the Rams. That's a bad. I know that's a risky one. It's probably one of the riskiest upsets I've betted on
I
all
kind of
season.
like
But
that. I kind of like the Seahawks against the Rams. The Seahawks lost 2 games in a row, right?
yeah, Seahawks lost 2 in a row. I think they can get this one. Metcalf coming back. Yeah, Ken Walker been a little too quiet for my liking. I think he'll have a good game against that Rams defense. Yeah, and Geno Smith didn't have a great game as well. I think he'll have a better game. Give me Seattle.
Absolutely, man. But that wraps up another week on the locker room. But make sure you follow me on IG at Suge Team. I'm giving away all the live bets. And also follow my man Bucko at.
Be humble, Bucko.
Let's go.